What's up, everybody? Average Zeus here, back with another God and Goddess YouTube video. This is going to be the YouTube video for my Fl4k The Ripper. Pretty much this build's kind of just, you're going to hit hard. It's going to pretty much be very close to what a Rakkstab build is, but just better. I go 5 in furious attack, okay? Hunter skill, you're going to be able to do bonus gun damage, and you're going to be able to get that to stack. That can go up to 10 stacks. I'm not going to do that math. One, eager to impress. I actually have a class mode already to go into that. You can do one inside there. You can try doing more depending on kind of whatever fits your fancy. Do one inside, or do 4 inside overclocked, increased fire rate. Honestly, your fire rate doesn't really matter. Just means you're going to have to reload faster. And then we actually can use one of the groundbreaker skills. We're going to go over that here in a second. I do turn, tail, and run. Increased gun damage. All right. So we're actually going to do 5 inside there. So we got increased fire rate after reloading as well. Then I got turn, tail, and run. While moving, I get constant health regeneration. I get damage reduction while still I do bonus gun damage and fire rate. Lick your wounds. Pet will be able to revive you. Fast and furious. All right. While above half health, I gain bonus gun damage. Do 3 out of 3 inside there. And then you 5 in a hit a machine while there's an enemy attacking you. You get bonus damage against them. And then you 2 in rage and recover. In all honesty, I'm kind of like at a loss, or I'm kind of like at a moment where rage and recover is good, but depending on like if you're killing people and stuff, you and your pet gain health back, or sitting between self-repairing system. So that's going to be constantly regenerating health, but it's going to be less of a portion. It's going to be based off kills. Honestly, it kind of depends on like what your play style is. I would just say depending on how hard this build hits, I would say probably go into rage and recover. Most of my Fl4k builds, I always usually go self-repairing system, just because like I like rage and recover, but I feel like it just doesn't hit as hard, and I feel like that constant health regeneration is nice. And then I do 1 into the power inside, all right? While I have double health, I get bonus damage, okay? That's what I do for my green skill tree. And then I head over to the red skill tree. I do implanetary stalker. For each stack, I get bonus damage dealt. Stack up to 3 times, so you get 30%. You guys can kind of see the math. I'm like, you're going to get bonus damage kind of based off the implanetary stalker. I do 5 inside Hunter's Eye, so I get bonus critical hit damage, I get armor damage, and I get damage reduction. Do 3 in head counts, all right? Extra skull cooldown. I usually kind of go leave no trace. Want ammo to be added back, but that doesn't really matter. You can kind of honestly throw these points wherever you want to go. The one thing for me is I feel like Fl4k's reload speed is definitely one of the points that it kind of hits a wall. So you can put 2 inside second intention. That's what I do. I'm not saying you have to. You can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to do like ambush predator, if you want to leave no trace. This is kind of more for single shot pellets. And I'm like the Blade Fury kind of shoots out kind of like in a weird kind of pattern, you know, like it's not going to be... So it kind of just depends on your personal preference. I do 3 in a big game, and then I do 2 into the most dangerous game. In all honesty, the easiest way I could say the most dangerous game is like the victory rush. Whenever you kill an enemy, or stronger enemy, kill a bad butt enemy, you increase critical hit damage and gun damage for a short time, and their pet receives the damage for a long time. So I'm going to get increased gun damage. All right, you kind of see all those little ticks right there. I usually do Flock and Load, Rakk Accelerate. The crowd damage... Just an FYI, took me a while to realize this. Whenever you have the crowd damage is going to come back. It's going to hit you. All right? Super annoying, super frustrating. It's always going to hit you. It's always going to come back, and you're just going to be irritated. You can also do the healing thing if you feel like you're losing more damage, but I also have an alternative for if you feel like you're not getting. So I kind of made it to the point where I made this build where it can hit hard enough to where you don't really need like to do that type of stuff, because I'm like, Fl4k's one of those characters where you need to have it to where he's going to hit super, super hard, and then you can obviously keep your health up, keep yourself up, you know, all that other jazz. You kind of take like a second to pause and all that jazz. It ends up not working. Obviously, Spider Ant Scorcher, pretty much Fl4k's best pet. I actually do 5 out of 5 in Barbaric Yup, so that's actually going to pretty much triple that that health generation, that elemental damage. All right, but I'm like, this is pretty much what I do for my red skill tree. We're going to head over to blue. I do 3 out of here for Persistence Hunter. All right, we're not doing a Gamma Burst build. And then, I did not know this, both of these skills get Mayhem scaling, so I believe it's times 51 Mayhem scaling. I don't know the math on that, but each of these skills get that. So I'm like, if you're not going to be doing like a Gamma Burst build, then I'm like, you can afford to do Persistence Hunter. I do 1 in a Who Rescued Who. I do He Bites. Whenever her pet takes some damage, you return some of that damage to the attacker. I do 5 in a Frenzy. When Fl4k's pet deals damage, Fl4k and their pet gain a stack of Frenzy. Each stack of Frenzy deals increased damage. Alright? Get up to 10 stacks so you can get 40% bonus damage. Then I do Psycho Head on a Stick. Whenever Fl4k kills an enemy, their pet gains increased movement speed and damage for a few seconds. And then you do 5 in Barbaric Yup. Okay, so that's going to be 200% bonuses. All right, so that's going to be that bonus on that I was talking about for my pet and all that other stuff. All right, so we were only doing 10% bonus and 1% health regeneration. Then I do 3 inside here to be able to get pack tack. So me and my pet both do 21% bonus damage, and then we kind of have that extra skill point. You can do more in a rage and recover, or you can just completely max stone. You can do 3 out of 3 in bar the dangerous game. So that's kind of the skill tree I got. So this isn't shown properly. So if you get out of the menu, you go back into it. So you get 3% health regeneration, and you get 30% bonus elemental damage. So like this means that you're going to be doing more elemental damage whenever you're kind of doing your Rakkstab type build. Okay, means you're whenever you throw your racks out, they're going to get that times 51 mayhem scaling, and they're also going to be hitting harder with the elemental damage that you're already doing on top of it. Okay. The one thing too that I'm going to point out is while you're using this build, okay, you're doing a melee type build. For some of you guys who are kind of like newer, I didn't know about this. One of my viewers, he kind of showed me this. His name's Wolfie6225. He also helps me out a lot of my stuff. I do greatly appreciate him. Groundbreaker. So melee attacks or slams will trigger an aftershock, dealing 25% of all melee damage you have dealt over the last 5 seconds. This is kind of like any attacks, you know, like you run Fl4k with like fadeaway, you shoot like the monarch into somebody, then you walk up and you melee them. I'm like, if you guys are ever trying something, just try this out. See what you guys think. All right, this thing hits hard. I'm like, I'll try seeing if I can do it. But pretty much, if you're always using the like Blade Fury, which we use for this build, what you can do is you get the same exact effect. So shoot with the Blade of Fury, chuck out a fish slap because that's what I use. Melee damage. All right, you get 25% of that melee damage that you're already doing. So you chuck that bad boy out. After you're already shooting, you're going to get that 25% bonus of all the damage that you're already dealing. All right? And it's kind of a fun way. Same exact thing. I have an Amara build that I'm working on as well. I just have a few tweaks that I'm doing on it. All right? But I'm like, this one hits pretty hard. Groundbreaker is such an amazing skill, especially when you're reloading because you're already doing that bonus melee damage. All right? And then we're going to go over the gear. Okay? So, don't worry about these two things. All right? We'll kind of go over this. So I pretty much just use the Gatlin Petunia Blade Fury. That's all I use for this build. If you want to go slower, you want to shoot like with the Blade Fury Masher, that's fine as well. If you want to use a face puncher, that's fine as well. I just kind of realized that I don't really like those that much. So like pretty much all you use is the Blade of Fury for this. I have a Clockwork Res. Thank you, Chino. He hooked me up with that one. I use a Clockwork Res just to get the pet back up whenever it goes in Fight for Life. It comes in clutch whenever you're doing Guardian Takedown and Molly 1 Takedown, alright? And then Guardian Angel, okay? Guardian Angel, like a Stinger, a Fish Slap, and then Unleash the Dragon. The only enemy that I've consistently found issues with, and it's honestly just everyone has issues with him, is just the Elemental game. The Skag of Survival, if he runs in as like fire, your Unleash the Dragon kind of becomes like... I'm like, sometimes you can try switching up to like different elements and stuff, but I found whenever he hits like that certain element that kind of matches up with yours, you're kind of screwed on that aspect. Even if like you get double, like, you know, like double elements, you're kind of like screwed on that aspect, all right? So I pretty much just run consecutive hits. You can do whatever the hell you want on here, all right? But I figure consecutive hits hits the hardest. And the nice thing is, even if you miss consecutive hits, you're still going to be... I rock a Revolter, okay, actual start. So with the Revolter, I'm going to get that 200% bonus, damage or fire rate, then I'm gonna get that bonus shock damage as well. You guys know how I am. I rock pretty much everything radiation, so I pretty much rock a juiced up fish slap, and then I have a radiation stone static charge. You can use whatever one you want. If you want to do cryo, you're basically gonna get bonus cryo damage for everything. The one thing I've kind of realized, and I think everybody's realized, is radiation is kind of like the default, you know, thing for everything. Besides like corrosive enemies, I'm like radiation hits pretty hard for like most things. All right, so I'm like, I have cryo, fire, corrosive, and shock. Whatever you want to do, I pretty much stick with radiation only. And then I have some static charges. All right. So I have a radiation stone static charge. I have some other ones. I have corrosive. My viewers end up helping me this one out. All right. A lot of this stuff is like stuff given to me viewers, or it was save edited type stuff. But pretty much I have every single element. Unleash the Dragon, Guardian Angel is pretty much going to be your bread and butter. I have a Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge if you want to change things up. I didn't really do much testing on that one, so I'm like, we could do some testing on it and kind of just see, but I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this, honestly, it's a very, very kind of different from my current build. If you find yourself having some difficulties where, like, you're like, hey, I keep dying all the time. Like, all right, cool. You can take these 3 points that you put inside the most dangerous game, and then what you can do is you can flip-flop them, and you can put them all into dominance. All right, so all you need is 2 points. You go into dominance. Okay, so you can do like you put in, let's see, mutated defenses, and you can do shared spirit if you want to. All right, but you can kind of do both of those. Hive mind's going to get rid of heat bites, so don't do that. But I'm like, basically dominance is going to be one of those skills where when you're aiming down sights, you're going to have a chance to get dominance over somebody. That's if you're struggling. I would recommend dominance. I was struggling with this build at first, but I ended up kind of just keep testing some stuff out. Both of them work really well. It kind of just depends on like how your survivability is, how everything's going for you. So I used to use a Peregrine when I was rocking the dominance skill. I don't need that anymore, so I pretty much rock this one. All right, so I get 4 in an interplanetary stalker, and I get 1 in an ambush predator whenever I have that on. All right, so we're gonna get 1 inside there, so we're gonna get bonus handling and critical hit damage, and then we're gonna get 4 out of there, so it's gonna boost up that. All right, so we're gonna be able to get more damage with the interplanetary stalker, or we can get cooldown, or if you want more cooldown, then you can go splash damage, melee damage, grenade damage if you want to do that. Okay, obviously the only thing that kind of sucks is you guys have to farm for the perfect class mods, and that honestly is like a giant bummer. I have a stack bot as well. You don't need a stack bot. I just kind of have that on there for show. This is pretty much the whole entire build. All right, these other 2 things on here, these other 2 shields, I don't really worry about. The adapting Ripper was just something that I was like testing out. I was just trying to see if you can maybe have like a Ripper thing going. Convergence doesn't matter. Guardian Angel doesn't really matter. I have a face puncher. Actually, you know what? I'll kind of show you guys. Face puncher I wasn't really too down for, and then I have a level 1 brawler ward just for like constant shield break and stuff, you know. But I'm like, honestly, I'm like, you have just enough with using the stinger that it really doesn't matter. If you're using like with the splash damage, or like if you're using anything like, so this Peregrine, or like using a Peregrine like this with splash damage radius, and then rocking a stinger, a lot of times you're going to go down because you're going to do that, you know, like the stinger sends out like a nova around you. So a lot of times you're going to hit barrels, you're going to go down yourself a lot. Kind of depends on like if you want to go that route. If you just want to have like a chaotic build but do a crap ton of damage, you more than likely can if you want to, but I'm like, it all depends on you. I just want to let you guys know I greatly do apologize. I've been kind of slowly getting some stuff set up. I bought another hard drive. I bought a second monitor to like do some stuff. I'm going to have 3 monitors total, you know, so it's kind of just been like a grind. And I've been kind of tweaking a lot of the builds, and we just had the hunt that happened not too long ago. So I'm like, kind of recording YouTube videos and all the jazz is kind of difficult. I'm probably going to record a couple more here pretty soon. Like, I greatly do appreciate it, guys. Appreciate if you guys would hit that subscribe button. Appreciate if you guys would hit that like button. All right. I love making stuff like this for you guys. It's amazing. It's fun. I have such a blast. Also, one thing that I've noticed a lot of viewers, I noticed a lot of consecutive things kind of happen inside the video. I do all the content for this. So this is went through all the true trials for Guardian, all the Molly 1 takedowns. It's killed all the like the raid boss and stuff. It's killed Seer. It's killed Hemo. The one thing I would recommend though, guys, Hemo is kind of a pain in the butt on this build. It's kind of tough to do like the Rakkstab kind of thing, you know, and like hit him like that. You do really well for the phase, but doing like the end boss, I'm just letting you guys know right now, it's going to be kind of like a little bit of a grind. It's going to be a little annoying, but you guys got it. It definitely is one of the more frustrating ones that I've had to do. Alright guys, that is my Fl4k The Ripper. I stream on Twitch, Average Zeus, 8763. Hold on, my mouth's not working. Anyways, stay classy, have a wonderful night. Peace out everybody, or day, wherever it is for you.